Welcome to Visual Traffic Recorded Online Training, Report Center, Lesson 1. In Lesson 1, we will cover launching Report Center, report basics, preview options once you've run the report, email setup for your reports, and setting up report favorites. Launching Report Center. There are several ways that you can launch the VT Report Center. The first one would be clicking your Windows Start button or your Windows orb, going to All Programs, Marketron, Visual Traffic, and Report Center. The second way would be to click Report Center from your desktop. And the third way is within Visual Traffic itself, from System, click Reports. We have a login screen for reports, just like we do with VT, because this will allow us to restrict access to reports. The user's profile defines which reports they can access. So go ahead and log in with your username and your passwords. Reports Basics. This is the screen you'll see after you've logged into Report Center. You'll have two tabs, Reports and Favorites, and down the left side of the Reports tab you'll notice that there are report categories. Under the Sales category, we have reports that are used mostly by the sales department and the management team for sales. Under Orders, these reports refer to the orders in the Visual Traffic system. Cart Copy category, reports that will tell you what copy is missing, what carts have been used, etc. In the Logs category, you'll find a way to print out your automation overlay report, a daily roster, log templates, and your daily program logs. In the Inventory category are all of our inventory reports. The next session will deal with these in depth. Accounting, these are reports primarily used by your accounting department, such as aged cash receipts, commissions report, etc. In the month-end category are reports that are used mostly during billing and month-end closing. List, these are all of the reports that give you a list of items in Visual Traffic, such as an advertiser list, an agency list, your chart of accounts, etc. In other reports, we have a few that did not fit into regular categories, so they are lumped together as other. If you are running VT in Australia, then you would use the VT Australia reports. Under All, we have a listing of every report in the system, so if you're not sure what category a report might be in, click All and search for it. In the Obsolete category, we have reports that have been replaced by better versions of a report. In some instances, we've combined two reports to make one single report. Any reports found here in the Obsolete category are subject to removal in the next Visual Traffic release. Once you've decided what category your report might be in, if you need help finding it, go ahead and click on a report name, and then the description will show in the lower box. To run a report, we're going to double-click the name, and the options screen for the report appears. Your first tab is usually a Summary tab. The Summary tab shows you what options were chosen the last time this report was run. The Dates tab is where you select the dates for the report that you are running. We have the option of using custom dates, and when you're using a custom date, if it's just a month and a year, you will need to select up and down individually. If it is a month, day, year, when you click the drop-down box, there will be a calendar to appear to allow you to check the date. We also have the option of selecting one of the predetermined choices for us, so I'm going to go ahead and say this year. This will run for this year. If I needed to run it for the next 6 months, I would select 6 months, and then each month this would advance. So if I was running this in July and said 6 months, the start date would be July. Your Grouping tab is your sorting tab, how you want your report to appear when it's viewed or printed. When you click your first drop-down, you see the options that are available for you. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose Salesperson. I want it in ascending order rather than descending, and I want a page break so that each salesperson has their own set of pages. Then perhaps I would like to group it by station, by AR account name, and then advertiser. In this report, because advertiser is an option, I must select it. Otherwise, when the report prints, you won't know what advertiser belongs to what order. Filters. Filters are selection criteria. What information do you wish to show in this report? If I want to filter on my AR account, I'm going to click on AR account, and then down at the bottom I have conditions. Your conditions can equal, be less than or equal to, less than, greater than or equal to, or a range. In this case, I'm going to make the first one be an equals condition. And then I'm going to say a range for my next set. I want the TRN1 stations, AM and FM, to be added. If you're not happy with something you've chosen, you can go ahead and click Remove, and it removes it, or you may click Remove All. It's important to remember that the icon here must show or your filters have not been added. Go ahead and say I want to filter on a station as well. If I discover that I've selected the wrong station, I can simply click on the station I wish to add and update. But I'm going to go ahead and remove that filter. The last tab is Options, and options are different for each report. In this case, in order to select an option, you would need to click on the right-hand side to activate the arrow. You'll notice that I'm running my monthly, net, I'm including my spot dollars, I'm including my non-spot dollars, I'm going to exclude my optional billing. I'm basing this on billing. This order projections will be based on what the client sees for billing. I'm also doing it on a combined cycle. When you do a combined cycle, this means that the media month clients will report on the media calendar, and calendar clients will report on a regular calendar basis. If I were to select media or calendar, it would force all advertisers to report based on the invoice frequency that I've selected here. If I select combined, it's going to project just like it's going to bill. If you want to see the order numbers on the report, go ahead and include order detail. Separate sales group members. If you are using sales groups where more than one salesperson is attached to an advertiser or an order, then you might wish to separate sales group members. You can also get summary pages for your reports. At the end of the report, you might wish a summary report by salesperson or by station or receivables group. Now that we've selected all of our options, we have several things that we could do here. We could click Print, and it would print the report for us. And then once the report has loaded, you're given the option to which printer you wish to print to. Preview options. I've canceled that report, but now when I double-click Order Projections, you'll notice that it came up with the same exact options as we just ran. This time I'm going to go ahead and click Preview. When the report previews, there are some important things to notice about this. First of all, you're going to see your corporate name in the upper left corner of the report, followed by the name of the report and all of the options that you chose when you ran the report. This is useful information so that if you're running a report 2 weeks later and want to compare it back to something else, make sure that you're running it the same way. On the bottom of the report, you'll see the date and time that it was printed, as well as the name of the report, plus any legend information for this report. On the right-hand corner, you'll see the page numbering. While you're in the preview mode, you can move from page to page using the arrows up above. Move them one at a time with the single arrow. You can go to the last page of the report, or you can go back to the first page. You could also select your page number in the box and go to it. We have a Find Text with your binoculars, and you can increase your font size by zooming in. So when you zoom into 150%, it's easier to see on screen. Other items here, the group tree. A group tree allows you to jump between pages in a report easily. So if you were on Gwen Adams first and you needed to go to National Denver's, I can just do a group tree, click on Denver National, and it appears, rather than having to page through 11 times to get to this salesperson. When you expand the pluses, you can jump to a station, an AR account, an advertiser, etc. You can toggle the group tree on and off as needed. You may also print your report from this screen, and when you select Print, once again you're prompted as to which printer you wish to print to. We can also export our report. You can export your report in one of the following formats: a Crystal Reports file, a PDF, an Excel spreadsheet, a Word document, an RTF file, or an XML file. Select the location you wish to save it, the Save As type, and save. This will save an electronic copy of your document. You can also print out your hard copy. We'll come back to this email report in just a moment, but first we need to actually go into Visual Traffic and set up your email options. Email Setup. Inside Visual Traffic, if you'll go to System, Manage Email Queue, and inside Email Queue, go to Edit, Email Settings. Once you're inside email settings, you might need the assistance from your IT department to set this up. You'll need to know your outgoing email server name, your outgoing email server port, and then you'll need a default from address and a default display name. Every report that gets sent from Visual Traffic will show this address and name. Perhaps you'd like to create a generic reports email address and a username. At this point, you can click OK, and then test the email to make sure that it's working by clicking Test. When you do this, enter your to address and then click Send. The test email has been sent, and whoever you sent it to will need to check their email box to make sure that it was received. Close with the X, and we can close this again. Back in that order projections report, in the upper left you'll notice an envelope that says Email Report. By clicking this, you can email a report directly to anybody that needs it. Simply type in the email address, any CCs that you need, any information in the box below, and click Send. It's a PDF attachment all ready to go. Closing that report again and bringing Report Center back up, we have one more thing to show you. Setting up report favorites. Anytime you open a report and choose your options, you have the ability to save it. You may save it as a favorite. By clicking the Save As button, it shows you your report title, and you can change this, and then you can put it into a folder. When you first start saving reports, the only folder that is available to you is Favorites. To add a new folder, click New Folder, type in the name of the folder, and OK. Click the folder you wish to save the report in, and click Add. Notice now that we've saved it as a favorite, there's a new tab called Schedule. This schedule allows me to schedule this report to run automatically. When you click the Scheduling tab, it says No Schedule, One Time, or Recurring. I'm going to set up a recurring schedule. It says the report should run every day. I'm going to change the schedule. I'm going to do it weekly because I don't need to run it every day, on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm going to do the start date. Your start date must always be a Monday with no end date. If you were using an end date, that end date must be a Sunday. So I could end this on July 3rd. And what time of day do I wish to run this at? I can run this at 6 a.m. even when I'm not at work. Then I need to select my distribution method. How do I want to distribute this? I'm going to click Add, and your distribution option screen comes up. You have different attachment type options. I'm going to go ahead and do it as an Adobe format with a PDF, and then you can enter the emails that you wish to send this to. You can use to, CC, and blind carbon copy. The subject line, and click OK. Once you've set up all of this information, go ahead and click Save, and we'll show you what it looks like in the Favorites tab. Here is my Training Examples folder. You'll see the name of the report and a watch face next to it. That means it's a scheduled report. If I go into the report and uncheck Enabled in the upper right-hand corner on the Schedule tab, then the watch face becomes red. Back in System, you can monitor your report server, showing you what reports are scheduled favorites that will be running, any reports that have been processed, which means which have been run through VT itself. You can pause your report server monitor, start it, you may refresh it. And also in your system, again, remember you can look at Manage Email Queue. It shows you reports that have been emailed. You can filter by the source, the status, by an email address, or a date range. To review what this lesson covered, we learned how to launch Report Center. We learned report basics, including grouping and filters. In Preview Options, we learned how to move within the report, how to use the group tree, and how to export. We also learned how to set up email for use in Visual Traffic reports, how to save our favorite reports, how to monitor your report server, and how to manage the email queue. From all of us at Marketron, thank you for viewing.